Did you know that YNW Bortlen is planning to snitch on Melly, and that's why prosecutors are submitting paperwork to have them tried together?
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. Guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. They're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
He will start pointing the finger at Melly if Bortlen is being held responsible for the crimes of removing Sack Chaser and Juvie when he knows he didn't. Even though Melly's team tried to place the responsibility on him at the initial trial, the band has been behind Melly the whole time.
Those were his lines. Courtroom Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. And you don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car, two bodies, car riddled with. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Courtroom Henry.
Following their release from detention, Bortlen was the first person spotted with Sack Chaser and Juvie, as his lawyer revealed. During the first trial, a forensic scientist confirmed that he had lied to federal officials and that he had powder residue on his hands during the initial trial.
So the right hand of Courtroom Henry contained two component particles, and the left hand contained one particle characteristic of powder residue and one two-component particle.
And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
Bortlen was offended when Melly's initial trial ended in a mistrial and posted an odd tweet the same day. Mind games aren't suitable for someone like me. Although the tweet's last handshake emoji suggests that he is accepting a settlement, Melly's current problems are only beginning. Trend said that although Melly is on trial, she made a fan account as his mother. Did you know that she was involved in an interview where she talked about her motivations and earnings?
Did you decide to break the internet the other day? You're saying that you're YNW Melly's mom and you're about to hit fans.
Why not? You make money while you sleep, and I turned 40 this year. Why not do something crazy?
Did you start it yet though?
What? My only? Yeah.
How much you made the first day? I just need to know the first day.
The first day was pretty epic. It was pretty epic.
Give me a ballpark figure.
Like 40-ish, 50.
One day?
Day one.
As academics voiced their opinions, this startled the internet.
So YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's going to be starting her own. And I got to be honest with y'all, man. Like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. How much, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. The situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
Social media was in disagreement with scholars who believe that money has no role in it. While his mother acts as if nothing is wrong, his brother calls out Melly's exorbitant spending habits when they discuss how much money Melly has been spending.
I would assume that he spent a lot of money on lawyers. like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry and you're not here to wear the jewelry?
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want the chain no more.
Her case is that Melly's mother has suffered greatly during this trial and is likely using it as a distraction, as Melly has often had to ask how she is doing. As it turns out, however, Melly's financial troubles are only growing worse because his ex-girlfriend is returning to the United States. On February 8, a court decided to free Maria Hamilton, Melly's ex-girlfriend, from Paul Reed's jail facility during an emergency hearing. They hadn't met in person until this hearing, until Maria turned himself up in February 2019. They saw Melly walk into the courtroom and watched. Despite his efforts to avoid making too much eye contact, Maria gave him a big smile for the first time in 6 years. However, courtroom sources said that he broke down in tears. However, her reappearance after her release is not favorable for him. Hamilton expressed gratitude to her family and friends for their support during her incarceration in a Facebook post on February 9. To my village. Thank you to my village, reads the post. I really do adore you all. My plan, not God's. But Hamilton criticized the local news for broadcasting the proceedings.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Since the federal government already knows what happened to Sack Chaser in juvie, Maria would prefer not to go back now that she knows how prison operates. To be released from jail after the federal government made the results public, Maria had to agree to accept it in the retrial, which she has done. Suspicious activity from her iCloud account that included pressuring Melly to recuse herself from testifying in the trial. This is known as witness tampering, and it entails a life sentence in prison regardless of whether Melly removed the bag.
6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Mariah may be the one to lock Melly up, though, as she is a party to the second trial. Even Juvie's father looked into her and found the code phrases that were used to get rid of Maria in the first place. Those in her neighborhood had told him that she had spoken to him on the phone the night of the crime.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
They like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
Because the state is pursuing a witness tampering accusation against Melly, his access to the jail phones and mail has been blocked. Melly hasn't been found guilty of his crimes. Thus, Jamie King said this is unfair.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But since the privileges are no longer in effect, they probably have evidence that he tampered and are preserving it for the court, since they can't afford to let Melly go public and tamper with other people. But this doesn't make it any easier for Jimmy King, who continued to talk about how upset she is for Melly.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
Online attention was drawn to the issue after his mother discussed it. Because of this, Charleston White said, Melly ought to be put in jail.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
Boozy went on to talk about his mother's recent struggles.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I you know, I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
Since no firearm was ever discovered in the case, Melly's lawyers have told the judge that they are doing everything possible to get him a bail.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
According to GPS data, Melly was jogging down the street when the incident happened, and they talked about how his text message to his girlfriend shows that they are making every effort to strengthen their relationship.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Zach and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
His situation keeps getting worse since they have been collecting evidence against him for the past 6 years. He has been incarcerated, and they have failed to secure a bond. For instance, they have a clear reason for Melly's actions after learning that Melly was close to King Von before being arrested, and that a former teammate disclosed that Melly sought King Von's opinion on firing Chaser and Juvie.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me, bro. Why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
This arrangement's main issue is that Melly and Bortlen did the majority of the work for the company and made the most money, even though Chaser, Juvie, and Melly Bortlen each earn an equal portion of the YNW business. Since Juvie and Sack Chaser were working so little and they were donating so much, Melly was not satisfied, considering the street person King Von used to be, who clarified it that Melly wanted to split the company 50-50s with Bortlen alone and double his income. Can you imagine his reaction? The way Melly boasts about the crime makes him look terrible.
The PCDM account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
Melly's phone also recorded a Facebook Live video that showed her and Bortlen's feelings just hours after their closest friends passed away.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Despite their lack of sadness over the murders of the two closest friends, prosecutors investigated the Jeep they were driving, and Sergeant Williams confirmed that it could not have been a drive-by.
How many rounds were inside of the car?
3. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that for Christopher Thomas, where did that come from?
Driver's side back seat. My determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that.
Juvie's mother recognized the individual in the back left seat of the car. She had evidence of being in when the crime was committed.
Can you state your name? Your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How's that?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.